Hey everyone, at the beginning of June, I posted a poll on my channel that asked you which LEGO sets do you want me to build without instructions, and I built them in the order of most votes. So first I built the cat, then the Lambo, and then the excavator more recently, and finally it's time now for Moana's Flowerpot. Now, last here definitely does not mean least. In fact, this set was in third place for a large duration of that poll before being taken by the excavator, and it's not difficult to see why. It's a very beautiful set. I'll save all my thoughts for after building it and going through the process, but you can see here, it's a pretty nice idea where you have a flower pot. It's kind of like the 18 plus botanical collection, but then there's some stuff on the inside, and spoiler alert, we see more of it here on the back of the box. Let's open it and let's see what we get. So in this set, we get 6 numbered bags, not all equal sizes, and they're all numbered consecutively from 1 to 6, which is what I like to see. And the color scheme, you can see it across the bags. It's very nice, and like each bag has a consistent color scheme to it. That's pretty cool and interesting. I've not noticed that before. We do get a sticker sheet that's a bit larger than what I would have hoped for, but maybe it won't be too bad to apply these stickers. So I'll reserve judgment on the stickers until after I'm done with the build. We also get this rather thick instruction manual. Of course, we will not be using the instructions, but it does bother me that this is so thick. Are there lots of steps involved, or are they going to use like a single step for each one of these pieces, like the 10 little pieces on the outside? I sure hope not. So let's just see at the front of the instructions or the back, is there any useful information? Yes, there's a builder app. They keep telling us about the paper bags, but in North America, we never get the paper bags. They keep saying next year, and then it takes you basically open bag 1, build the figure, and start the build. Here's the part list for those of you who are interested. And then here's some other LEGO sets from the Disney theme. Are you interested in any of these sets? If you are and you really want me to build one of these sets without the instructions, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do. And then here's the end of the build. There's no story, there's no background information like we've got the 18 plus sets. I do have to admit, I am not a Disney princess specialist. I've never watched the movie Moana, so I'm not deeply familiar with the source material, so I'll be reviewing this more as a LEGO set. But I'm pretty sure that Moana does not live in a giant flower pot. I'm pretty sure about that. If I'm wrong, please correct me down below. Alright, so now without further ado, let's start with bag 1. So in the set, we get 1 mini doll Moana, as well as this pet pig of hers, which is Pua, P-U-A. I only know this name from the box, so thankfully they included that there. They're both very nice characters to get. Look at all the detailed printing that she has. It's very, very nice. Like, see for example here, like these very fine details of the skirt, and here it goes into the chest, like with these very nice patterns. I'll try to zoom in to make it more visible. Yeah, that's quality work, and on LEGO minifigures, I don't think the printing is that detailed most of the time. And then she also has this nice little necklace here. And then the face is printed in a very crisp way as well, but at lower resolution. Not necessarily a bad thing. For the pig, it's also printed just as nicely. There's a print here at the top, like done in gray to be more realistic. And yeah, the eyes look a little bit cartoonish, but it's based on a 3D cartoon, so that is to be expected. Both Moana and Pua have these holes at the top for adding accessories. I don't see any accessories in bag 1, but maybe there are other accessories in the remaining bags. We'll have to see. So again, there's that hole if you want to add like a flower or something. If nothing is included in this set, you might need to get it from your own personal collection. And here's a look at the back print for Moana's torso. Again, very nicely done, and you see here that it's done not perfectly straight, it's done like going down a bit. That makes it even more realistic. So that's a very nice mini doll to get. Oh, and I will be using a brick separator to apply the stickers. This is not included in the set, you'll have to get it separately or from your own personal collection, but this just makes it so much easier to apply the stickers. So bag 1 gives us additionally this tile here. I don't know what it is, but it looks to be quite important to the story of Moana. It also gives us the small boat that she uses. So that's what this looks like. We'll look at everything again closely at the end, but this is what we get with bag 1 in addition to the main build here with 1/2 of the bottom of the flower pot. We get all this in just bag 1. So far so good. So just before I hide this piece under the rest of the build, I'll show you it in more detail. It's one of the new pieces for 2024. It's this foliage piece that has some texture to it. So you can see here like the basic Lego foliage piece that was there initially, and then it's basically adding more to it, making it look larger and more textured. This is a great way to build foliage quickly if you want to use tons of these pieces. So nice piece to get. It doesn't fit every scenario, but here I think it makes sense, and I think this is going to be great for mock builders, people who make their own creations. There's only one that's included in this set, though. I'm going to apply this round sticker, and I've been burned before in a previous build while trying to apply these round stickers. So what I highly recommend is making sure that you attach this piece to a grid, basically any piece that is on the grid like this. You can kind of see like where it's up and down, left, right, and then you carefully attach the piece. So in this particular case, the moon piece, if you get it slightly wrong, it doesn't matter. But if there was like text written on this, you want to get it perfectly level, and not like at a 45-degree angle. You definitely want to do this. Attach the piece to a grid, apply the sticker, and it doesn't matter if it's like at 90 degrees or anything like that, because you can just flip it. So yeah, that's my tip for applying stickers on round parts. So here's a quick look at the shades of blue that LEGO has. There's this regular blue that's used here and here. It's been around for the longest amount of time, since the early days. There's this dark blue or earth blue that has been around more recently. There's this azure, medium azure or dark azure, and then the light azure as well. So it's nice to see these different shades of blue coming together here. There are maybe other shades of blue like baby blue and so on that are not included in this bag at least, but there's many shades of blue that LEGO has. Very different from the early days, when there was only one color you could get things. Bag 2 builds the same thing as bag 1, but with a slightly different color scheme. It's very nice to look at with all the blues. Very beautiful. Then we put the two together using these beams here. And just cover everything up. It's very easy to get these wrong if you're not paying attention, so what I recommend doing is looking at one of them, placing it very carefully, and then alternating them. So all these are facing the same way with the same orientation, and they're on a diagonal. So here, and here, and here, and so on. So basically you detect the pattern, and then you fill in the blanks with the ones going the other way, like this. I don't know if they ask kids to do this in the instructions. I hope they do, because otherwise it's just a lot of concentration. I got the first one wrong, as you might have noticed. Bag 3 builds just these panels here, which does not look like a lot of stuff, but these are pretty annoying to put on, especially if you're not paying attention, so don't try to do this build when you're lazy or tired. Really focus on these pieces and use the alternating method to make it a bit easier. And this is what the flower pot looks like on the whole after bag 3. All 4 of these stickers are the same, so it doesn't matter which one goes where. Again, it helps to do these in an alternating way. All the ones that go up, down, then all the ones that go left, right. So in other words, all the vertical ones, and then followed by all the horizontal ones. So bag 4 builds 4 of these identical builds. These are very tedious to put together, and in case you're wondering, there's 112 pieces like this in the whole set. So definitely not the most fun. I think a lot of kids are not going to have the patience to build this whole thing. And when attaching them to the main build, always make sure that the red is on top and not at the bottom to have a consistent look throughout. So this is what we got for bag 4. Not bad. So bag 5 is a nice break from all this stuff, and instead we build this very nice foliage. You get this piece in reddish orange for the first time, this nice foliage piece. That's pretty cool. And yeah, this looks like a fun place to play. Alright, we're now done with the build. It's a pretty impressive build from so many angles. It's so colorful, especially at the top here, and it's this part here at the top that draws you in when you want to go and buy the set, like this stuff over here from the top. You have some very nice flowers. These could have been like flowers from the botanical collection in the 18 plus line. And the build here did not feel very repetitive, despite the fact we have to build this petal 10 times, but there's so many colors and just so much more relaxing than building the sides of the flower pot, so that you don't even notice that this is repetitive. So this was fun to put together. I have a little bit of nice part usage here with the hot dog piece here, recolored in the flame orange or flame yellow color, or Keat orange as some people call it. We have some ice cream scoop on top, so that's some really nice part usage right there. A bit below we have these flowers done in aqua and white, so there's not a lot of contrast, but you still see the difference between the colors, and that looks nice. Some foliage pieces here in teal, so teal is basically a mix of blue and green. It's almost alien-like. It's very nice to see. We have more palm tree pieces here in the light green and also in the regular green, and some smaller flowers as well. And I believe these pieces are new in this color, certainly for this year, but maybe they're new to this set. So yeah, it's a good look from most angles. From the back, it's not the best, but on the other hand, real flowers do have like sometimes this green stuff underneath, not to the same extent, but it would have been nice if this was covered a little bit better, like especially at the top, if not every single one. But it's not a very, very big deal in my opinion. These look okay from the back, but they look so much better from the front. And this, if this was covered as well, the anti-studs, that would have been better. Here, there's one color that stands out in this red beam here. They should have made this in tan, and in fact this piece does exist in tan, so I'm wondering why they did not use it here, because that would have made it look so much better. And yeah, so here it's a little bit of a mismatch in terms of the color. We see a little bit of the blue peeking out. And another thing I don't like about the build is the gaps here. So there's a gap, there's another gap, especially on these long diagonal lines, there's this big gap. And I wish there was a way for them to redesign it slightly so that this gap is not visible. Now we've looked at the exterior. I'll just mention once again that building the walls of the flower pot was very tedious to have to put the 112 pieces in the correct orientation every single time. So bags 3 and 4 are definitely a chore, and if you have a younger child, they might not have the patience to finish this. You might need to help them out or split up this task along multiple days. So that's it for the outside. On the underside, it's not too good looking, but not too bad either, and we're not going to be looking at it on the underside too much anyway, so I will not be deducting any points for that. I will be deducting points for this. These pieces fall off very easily. They're held only by this plate here, and in addition to the gap being unsightly, they just tend to fall off randomly. So I'm pressing really hard over here to attach it securely, and hopefully it does not fall off again, at least for the duration of this review. So now it's time to open the set and see what we have inside. So this is the difference between the 18 plus sets and the 9 plus sets. So because this is a set that's intended for kids, there's all this interior detail here, which I really appreciate. I think the 18 plus sets could use this kind of stuff as well, instead of the boring, just Technic interior that's very stable but not very exciting. So this is new. I like the idea. I don't think it's been done before, except maybe one other flower pot that came out a bit earlier for another Disney character. But in general, this flower pot idea is relatively new, and I like it. It's something different. You get to see here, this is representing Moana's home, I believe, and you get to see like these stickers that represent different parts of the movie. So good to see them here, and there's also a nice carpet, all done with stickers. The stickers did not bother me too much in this set. The sticker sheet looks a bit large when you open the set, but then you put the stickers in the right places, and it's honestly not too bad. The stickers are simple enough to apply, except for this one where you just need to pay attention to the orientation because it's a round sticker. The trick that I have is to attach this piece to the grid, then put the sticker on correctly, and then take the piece with the sticker off and put it in the right place. That's what I did. Check the build if you haven't already to see how I did this. These stickers I feel could have been print because they're so generic. They're space things, and this is the year of LEGO Space. So if LEGO used some prints here, they could have reused these prints in multiple sets, because there's nothing here that's Disney specific or Moana specific as far as I know. And here's another look at the foliage piece that is basically an enhanced version of this much smaller piece that's been around for a while. So this and this, you multiply it by a lot and you get this larger piece here. So there's another genius part of the build that I have not mentioned up until now. And no, it's not the treasure chest, I'll come back to this. But it's the fact that here, these angles are not random. Right over here, where we see the water, is actually exactly matching what we have for the boat. So you can see here how you can make a very nice diorama of Moana and Pua float in the ocean, and like the boat is literally in the ocean, and it's kind of like a small recreation of the movie. Of course, it's not as large as the ocean, but it still gets the idea across, and I just love this scene. I have not watched the movie, but I still think this looks very, very good. Now, is this the most realistic thing ever? No. Like you have the ocean on one side and your house on the other side, and you close them together. That's not very realistic, but I still appreciate the possibilities this opens for imagination, and aesthetically it just looks very, very nice. Now, in this treasure chest, we get this ball piece here. I don't know if it has any special significance or if it's just a regular piece that they have here. This is compatible, like you put the ore here, you can do a bunch of things with this piece. Then we have a minifigure head that's printed with a pineapple pattern. This is essentially a pineapple. That's nice to see. They'll both fit in the treasure chest. The pineapple needs to be sideways. And then we put the treasure chest here on this jumper plate right here for storage. The ores, where can we store them? You could store them here so they don't get lost. And maybe you could store them inside if you just want to let them loose. If you don't want to put them here to ruin the visual effects. And then you close it up, and there is your Lego set. Another thing I would have liked to see them do is have some kind of clips here, or if not clips, then some kind of piece here at the top, just like the classic Lego space sets, to hold this closed if you want to close it and take it somewhere. So something like this, for example, just put it up here, and this way it will not open randomly when you don't want it to open. I don't know if Lego has any additional extra pieces in the set that you could use for this purpose. I just checked all the extra pieces, and unfortunately there is no extra piece that you could use just from this set that is like this, but this is a very, this or this, anything of this form, you can get it very easily from your personal collection and just add it here to close it. I really wish that Lego would have thought of that and included that piece here. But on the other hand, you could just redesign this slightly. Like you can move one of these pieces over. You might have to do some disassembly, but yeah, with the pieces included in the set, you can make it happen. And let's try that again. So we open the set, and I'll just angle it a little bit so the boat falls out and you could send her on an adventure. So yeah, that's pretty cute. So yeah, I know that the Disney Princess line is not usually my thing, but this is a good set, and for $40 US, $50 Canadian, I think it's worth it. The pros far outweigh the cons. I don't like these gaps, but I think you can live with them, or you can just redo some of this part to make it a bit stronger so that these parts don't fall off very easily. I think for a child, they're going to appreciate the build, the Moana mini doll, the Pua character as well, if they're into Moana, and yeah, the flowers at the top are really nice for display, and I guess for play as well. Like you could bring Moana up here and make her like sing amongst the flowers or something like that. Yeah, so that's a pretty good look. You could have her here singing underneath the flowers and having a nice adventure, maybe taking the boat for a ride across the ocean. Yeah, it's a pretty nice set. I think the value is there. The build process is mostly enjoyable except for this part. The part to build these walls of the flower pot. This was tedious in my personal opinion, but for someone who likes repetitive builds, I think you're going to enjoy this. And yeah, do I wish this set was a bit cheaper? Yes, because these pieces are not worth that much, but you have to keep in mind the Disney tax, the fact that this is a set that's very well designed, and the Lego designers, they need to be paid, right? So it takes a lot of effort to design something like this, I have to tell you. And yeah, I think they just know that they can price it at this price and get away with it, so I can't really blame Lego for this pricing, and honestly it's fair. Yes, I would like a discount, but the pricing here is reasonable, unlike some other Marvel sets that have absolutely gone to the stratosphere. So that's it for my thoughts on Moana's Flower Pot. What do you think? Are you going to get this set, or are you going to get something else from the Disney line? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!